first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup. Jessup Premium Storage, 1455 South 1st Street is Jessup's best place to store your valuables. Whether it's furniture between moves or just a place for the overload, call Jessup Premium Storage at 530-8003. That's 530-8003. Jessup Premium Storage units are indoors, climate controlled, and they have 24 hour surveillance and on-site management. You have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access to your unit. Sizes range from 5x5 to 10x25. They also have outside covered and uncovered spaces available for vehicles, boats, trailers, and RVs. Jessup Premium Storage on the Waycross Highway in Jessup.
An exceptional car buying experience is closer than you think. Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear has the best prices, service, and selection. Why go anywhere else? At Mike Birch, you don't have to haggle, and you'll get top dollar for your trade. Our finance team's ready to help, even when others can't. No matter where you are, buying a new car has never been easier than at Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear and at MikeBirchFord.com. Right on the corner, right on the price. Stop the surge. Call Mike Birch.
At Broadhurst Landfill, keeping our communities safe is the most important thing we do.
Bushes
Our local
all
team
around.
of environmental managers,
I don't know if those are
engineers,
shrubs or
and
George
scientists
W's.
ensure that the long-term management of the landfill is safe for our workers, customers, and the environment. To learn more, visit our website
baked
at
beans even.
www.broadhurstlandfill.com. Or you can go to the website, click Visit Us, and sign up for a tour to see firsthand how we operate. We hope to see you soon.
And good morning to you. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO-FM in Jessup, 105.5 on your FM dial. Butch Hubbard here with you. 6th day of December. This is Wednesday, right slap in the middle of the week. And the world-famous Butch and Bob show is now being brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jessup, located just down from the big old red caboose there. And by Republic Services, by Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway. And also brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. And in the studio with us this morning is Jim Poindexter. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. The coffee's kicked in. I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go. You got your hospice shirt on because, you work, part-time there at hospice, but you're talking about something different today. That's actually an anniversary of something tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, what's the VFW you want to talk about?
Well, we're going to...
Because that's what you're representing this morning is the Jessup Post of the Jessup VFW.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, which is tomorrow. And it's an annual event that is to help honor and remember all of those servicemen and women who were killed in the surprise attack by the Japanese on Pearl Harbor in 1941. And although it's not a federal holiday, it's still a significant day in both American and World War II history. And at this time of year, a lot of times that Remembrance Day, Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, gets sort of lost in all of the holiday goings on. We've just had Thanksgiving. We've had the Christmas parades, and there's Christmas parties and everything that's going on. So sometimes December the 7th sort of gets shoved around, and it's not that people don't remember, it's just that it sort of gets lost in all the hype of the holiday season. Mm-hmm. And so we're wanted to come on this morning to try to go through some of the history which leads up to today.
Tomorrow. Today, tomorrow?
And tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow, December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor Day. So go ahead, you got some facts there, Jim. Tell us a little bit more about the history of Pearl Harbor Day.
Well, on 7:53 a.m. on the morning of December the 7th, 1941, the Japanese Navy launched a surprise attack on the American base there at Pearl Harbor. And it took the Americans completely by surprise. And on that morning, they attacked without any warning, any declaration of war. And the Japanese Navy killed over 2,400 not only servicemen men and women, but also civilians that died in that attack. And then there was almost 1,200 that were wounded in that attack. And of course, the most significant the battleship that everyone does remember is the USS Arizona, which is a memorial now there in Hawaii.
And I've been there to the memorial there in Arizona, and it's amazing. After all these years, after 71 years, it still leaks a little bit of oil up.
Yes, it is.
Just a little bitty. I mean, how much could have been in there for the leak for that many years? That's just amazing to me.
Yes, and there is an agency that has been established a number of years ago. It's the Defense Prisoner of War Missing in Action Accountability Agency, and their sole purpose is to go out worldwide in all of these countries where we've had servicemen and women who are listed as killed or prisoner of war or missing in action. And their sole purpose is to go out and help find these remains of these servicemen and women and bring those remains back. And it's their main office is there in Hawaii, and they do all the DNA testing and with family members and to try to identify the remains of those, and it's really, those people really have a big job, and I have we get information like on a weekly basis, anywhere from 5 to 8, maybe 10 people whose remains have been identified, recovered and identified, and then they're returned either to the family or, and like with...
And you said we, you mean the Jessup VFW, Jim Poindexter here from Jessup VFW talking about Pearl Harbor Day, which will be tomorrow.
Yeah, and we get these newsletters, and it has the results of their finds in that newsletter, and that comes out on a weekly basis. But you know, on that morning, 7:53 a.m., people were just getting up and around, and and it really was a surprise. The first wave attacked the airfields and the battleships, and then the second wave targeted other supply ships and other ships that were in the harbor, as well as the airfields, and the raid actually lasted until 9:45.
So about 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours of constant bombing and strafing, and it was quite a feat by the Japanese Navy to do what they did, and but there were a total of 8 battleships that were destroyed. 5 of them were actually sunk. There were 3 light cruisers, 3 destroyers, and 3 smaller vessels were also lost, and almost 200 aircraft were destroyed during the attack. And it's believed by a lot of the historians today that the Japanese thought that by launching this attack on Pearl Harbor, it would prevent the United States from increasing their influence in the Pacific, which it actually had the opposite effect. By this attack, it actually led to the escalation of World War II. On December the 8th, the morning following, President Roosevelt went to Congress and gave a speech, and in that speech he asked Congress to declare war on Japan, and they unanimously did, and so the United States...
You mean the Congress actually unanimously did something?
Yeah. I know,
they would have debated about it for 3 months now, with each side accusing the other side of starting the doggone thing. It was their fault. Yeah.
But they did declare war on Japan, and then that launched the United States into World War II. And
yeah, you shouldn't sleep. You shouldn't kick you shouldn't. Well, I think what I heard you say, you shouldn't kick a sleeping dog. You shouldn't kick a sleeping dog because you just don't know what that dog's going to do.
Well, that's true. In the speech to Congress, President Roosevelt, in asking for the declaration of war, his probably the most famous phrase that he ever made during any speech was included, and he stated that called the bombing of Pearl Harbor a date which will live in infamy.
Yeah, that and his, the only thing we have to fear is fear yourself in his inauguration speech, his first time he got voted in, and that are his two most famous quotes.
Two most famous quotes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, December the 7th is a day for us to remember all of those that were killed on that particular day in the American history. And we have total from World War II, there are still over 73,000 American servicemen and women who are still listed as prisoners of war or missing in action.
73,000.
Just from World War II.
Just one war, 73,000 missing or considered prisoners at that time.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this, like I said earlier, this defense agency is tasked going out and trying to locate these servicemen and then identify them so that the families can have closure, you know, because that's probably pretty tough for a family to deal with, you know.
Oh, definitely. There's been a lot of movies made about for the Pearl Harbor Day, all the way back from the John Wayne days to the one that was made in the 90s with Ben Affleck, which I thought was a real good one.
The Pearl Harbor.
The Pearl Harbor's name of the movie with Ben Affleck and the other famous actors and actresses that were in there. It showed that devastation. It showed the horror on everybody's faces and what to do, and then it showed the resolve of President Roosevelt of America to do what they needed to do.
It did. There were to help us remember, many of the newspapers and radio shows across the country, the story sort of gets lost. And like I said earlier, in the holiday season and everything, we are fortunate here in Jessup that, you know, we can come on the Butch and Bob show and talk about it. But also, the Press Sentinel has been so good, and the folks there at the Press Sentinel have been so good to help get these stories out and get information out to the public on this. We can't thank them enough for all of their support. And tomorrow morning at about 8:45 at the Jessup VFW, there will be a short service, Pearl Harbor Day Remembrance service at 8:45 there at the Jessup VFW, right behind the farmers market. I'd like to invite everybody to come out. I know that's early in the morning, and it's people are just getting started to work and everything, but we'd really appreciate you coming out and being there for the service.
That's going to be held outside of the flag?
Outside at the flagpole.
At the Jessup VFW behind the farmers market tomorrow morning, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day at 8:45.
Yeah, flag will be lowered to half staff. Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day is one of the holiday, or I shouldn't say holidays, observance days that the flag is flown at half staff from sunrise to sunset. So we ask that if you're flying a flag, please recognize this and by lowering the flag to half staff. So,
okay. And that's tomorrow, Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th. What is it, 71 years now?
76.
76 years, that's right, 76 years now. 76, because last year was the 75th anniversary.
Yes.
That's right, 75th anniversary last year. And so 76 years since Pearl Harbor. There's still, World War II veterans out there, and reports, they die off by the thousands every single day throughout America. And just need to honor those folks who served back then, because, that was definitely a world war. I mean, when we declared war the next day, not only was it on the Empire of Japan, but it was also on Germany,
Yes.
which put us into that war, and it was about 4 years of just extremely hard fighting there.
Yes, that's true. And we still have quite a few World War II veterans that live here in Wayne County. So it's really an honor to still be able to talk with those folks that went through all of this, that went through World War II, and to learn firsthand what their experiences were. So,
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, we thank you very much Jim, for coming in this morning and informing the public about the ceremony that will take place tomorrow morning, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, at 8:45 there at the Jessup VFW on Project Street behind the Farmers Market.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The raffle's still going on for the gun, isn't it?
For the smoker.
Not the gun, the smoker. The smoker,
Yes.
you have that big old smoker that you are giving away that's made down there in Nahana.
Yes.
Famous. I mean, they ship all over the country, these smokers, and y'all still selling raffle tickets for that, right?
We're still selling raffle tickets for that. The drawing will be December the 15th, which is a week from Friday. And we'll be doing the drawing. There's still tickets available. You can get them from the VFW members. You can get them from the VFW Post itself. You can get them from Murphy's Builder Supply, Code Blue Tactical, Harris Ace Hardware.
And how much are the tickets?
The tickets are $15 a piece.
And this is one of those type of smokers that is on a trailer that has wheels, so you can actually hitch it up and take it places with you if you want.
Yes. It's not so large that it can't be used in your backyard.
Right.
But you can hook it up to your vehicle and take it to the lake or to the river or wherever, to a park or wherever and it's really a nice trailer.
It's a great smoker, and like I said, it's not real big, but it's on that trailer, so you can take it with you and go wherever you want to go.
Yes.
Go ahead.
One other thing I want to mention: a week from Saturday, on December the 16th, is the National Wreaths Across America, and this is where agencies raise money throughout the year to buy wreaths to place on the veterans' graves in the veterans' cemeteries, as well as in other cemeteries. And we'll be the VFW will be participating in the Wreaths Across America at the Veterans Cemetery in Glenville.
Okay.
It really is a good program. At the end, they always have speakers there, but at the end of the program, then the people that are there can go out and pick up a wreath and take it to a grave and actually place it on the grave.
Okay, and what date is that again?
That's Saturday, December the 16th. It starts at noon at the Veterans Cemetery in Glenville.
All right. Anytime you want to come in, Jim, and talk about the VFW or any other subject, just let us know. We appreciate you being one of our regular guests.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. We're WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. And let's see here. We're going to be back with the world-famous Butch and Bob show, with Bob and I, in just a minute.
Can you find it? The Georgia Dermatology WIFO-FM Big Dog Country Cash Can. Imagine, if you will, a specially marked can hidden in Wayne County, Georgia, worth $1,055. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, find the cash can. Clues to the can's location will be read Monday through Friday live on WIFO at 7:10 a.m., 12:50 p.m., 3:03 p.m., and 5:50 p.m. Shortly after 5 p.m. on Friday, the clues will be posted online at BigDogCountry.com. No purchase necessary. You must be 18 to claim the prize. Complete rules online at BigDogCountry.com. This promo will self-destruct in 4 years.
That's right, Bob. We got that cash can promotion going, and we do want to let folks know that you cannot call in to get the clue. We had somebody stop by yesterday and want us to give them the clue. You get the clues by tuning in to 105.5 FM around 7. This is weekday mornings, Monday through Friday, around 7:10, then right around 12:50, and then around 3:03, then around 5:50. And each day we'll post, we'll put on the air that new clue. You'll have 4 times during the day to be able to hear that clue, and then the next day we'll have another clue, and then after 6 o'clock, on Friday, we will post all of this week's clues, and then start with new clues on Monday if the can's not found.
Right. Some people need to know if you don't hear the clues at the end of the week, you can go on the website and all the clues are there.
Yeah, BigDogCountry.com. But you want to tune in to hear them because you want to get that clue just as quick as you possibly can, because there are people, thousands of people tuned in to listen to WIFO, and many more to tune in to get those clues. So around 7:10 a.m., 12:50 p.m., 3:03 p.m., and 5:50 p.m. approximate times there that we give out the clues each day, Monday through Friday. And then after 6 o'clock on this Friday afternoon, this week's clues will be posted on BigDogCountry.com. We also want to folks note that the official rules and regulations of our cash can giveaway of the Georgia Dermatology and Big Dog Country cash can giveaway posted on BigDogCountry.com. So you got to do all that legal stuff, So all it's on there on BigDogCountry.com, the Georgia Dermatology and Big Dog Country WIFO cash can giveaway. People get excited about that, Bob.
They get excited. It's the talk of the town.
$1,055. And people say, how'd you come up with $1,055? Because our frequency is 105.5, 105.5. So that's how we come up with $1,055.
It's amazing how there's so many people just team up. You get these
they make teams.
Right. So they're all out there searching for it, going over the clues, trying to figure out what the clue means. Yeah. It's just fun to listen to.
You got these fantasy football teams out there. You've got the cash can fans and groups out there.
It's great promotion, great buzz. But like I said, it makes somebody's Christmas or New Year's.
Sure will. It sure will.
Chunk of change.
And we appreciate our sponsors being part of this, and especially Georgia Dermatology for being the main sponsor on there. But we do have the other sponsors that we say thank you for making this possible. Well, you went to the city council meeting last night of the city of Jessup. What did you take from it?
Well, they approved the change in the charter, which I disagree with, but it is what it is.
Okay. There's only one who voted no, and of course that was Ray House that we had on the show the other day. Did the other city council men and women talk about why they wanted this change?
They just state that they think it's the best practice, which I don't see why they think that, but.
Okay, so the city clerk treasurer will still be responsible to the city manager.
That's what they say.
Yeah,
but to me, that's what they don't understand. If you get a city manager and a city clerk that don't get along, they just create chaos down there. Everybody has a boss. The
city manager is still the boss of the person. They just can't fire him.
Well,
or hire him.
Right. So does that make him the boss?
Yeah, that makes him the boss.
If you can't fire and hire me, why am I listening to you?
Huh? Well, I thought they did that.
Why does the city council want to get involved in the day-to-day operations?
Does the school superintendent recommend the principals to the school board?
Right.
But the principals are answerable to the school superintendent, right? So that's, you've got that different level. As long as it's still in the charter there that the city clerk treasurer is responsible to the city manager, and the city manager is the boss, and then that's fine. But
what they've done is they've thrown themselves into the appeal process.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And why do they want to be involved in that?
I guess because they said that most others...
They fire, like I told one of my commissioners last night, if the city manager, if the city clerk gets fired and goes to the appeal process, who the appeal, it used to be a grievance committee. Now the appeal process is going to be the council. And they still go to the grievance board. If the grievance board overturns their decision, how stupid do the commissioners look? You fired somebody that you're not supposed to. I mean, why? They don't want to get involved in that. Why do they want to be involved in that situation?
Didn't you report in the news that they checked?
That's what they can't answer. They can't answer that question.
Didn't they check with other towns, and most other towns, the city council hires and fires?
They're saying just because everybody else does. Like I said, everybody else has got murder rates that we don't have. Everybody's got congestion in traffic that we don't have. Why do we want to be like everybody else? Why is that the reason?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. I haven't talked to any of the city council people like that. I just don't, I don't know why.
I've told my commissioner that represents my district bad. I don't agree with the decision. I think it's opened up a can of worms that they don't want to open up. I don't understand.
And we'll find out in the future if it does.
For 55 years, the city manager, former government's worked for the city of Jessup. I don't know why they want to change it.
I don't know why they have the reasons. They have the reasons.
The reason doesn't make any sense. Best practice. What does that mean? It's the best practice. Who says it's the best practice? Other cities?
I don't know. Like I said, I have been sitting into these meetings and so forth like that.
What happens if it ain't broke? Don't fix it.
I don't know.
If it worked for 55 years, it's good enough.
Well, apparently 4 of the 5 of them thought the
5 of the 6.
5 of the 6, even 5 of the 6 it needed to be changed. So, but for, the charter still says the city manager is the boss, and the city clerk treasurer is responsible to the city manager, and he's the boss of that person. To be just like a principal being the boss of a principal, but has to be approved by the school board. But we'll see how that works, because you've got the city clerk treasurer right there in the same office with the city manager. How will it work? We'll find out. Yeah.
I'm going to stick to my guns. It's been changed because there's an agenda.
You think there's an agenda there?
I don't want to take the agenda.
Okay. You think there's an agenda there?
Like I said, they're not going to. They didn't tell me that. Well, if somebody cheats on a test and the teacher says you cheat on a test, they're not going to say, yeah, I cheated on a test. They're not going to tell you what the agenda is. But in my opinion, there's a hidden agenda.
All right. So Bob's going to be on that story, and he's going to find out what this hidden agenda may or may not be.
When the agenda comes out, we'll all know. We'll see it.
Okay. All right.
It's just a bad move, in my opinion.
Okay. Somebody just texted in, hey, Bob, missed the first part of the show, but I wanted to know if, make sure I get close enough so I can read this. Mel Tucker's going to stay at UGA, University of Georgia.
Don't know. Tennessee's got a second interview with him today. Inside.
Mel Tucker?
Mel Tucker's the defense coordinator at University of Georgia.
Okay. All right.
He's got a second interview today with Tennessee, so it's still a possibility he could be the person Tennessee lands, but Tennessee's talking to other defense coordinators as well. Auburn's defense coordinator, Clemson's defense coordinator, 2 of the other people they're talking to. So they're expected to make a decision by the end of the week.
All right, we'll find out.
Hoping Mel Tucker stays, but like Kirby said, Kirby gave me glowing endorsement, said he's one of the best coaches around, so
okay.
He's going to be head coach soon. So
he's going to be somewhere. All right, anything else, Bob? That's it. All right, have a good day. All right, the world famous Butch and Bob show brought to you by